Hey everybody, and welcome to this special live edition of the DVC Show, coming to you from the Saratoga Springs Treehouse Villa that we are here for this weekend. We are, that was a wild intro for us. I don't know how it was for you.
I don't think they could hear it.
No, they couldn't hear any of it, and
Derek,
it was absolutely
the best theme song. We're gonna have to show it someday.
It was incredible. But thank you guys for joining us for our second DVC Fan SummerFest weekend, and we are so excited to be here, and we are so excited to have everyone here this week. I'm joined as always by my lovely wife Amy.
Hello.
How are you? We're doing good. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only Derek DeBoer.
Hey now, from the treehouse.
We've got Corey Riley is in town with us as well. Corey, how are you?
Hi-yo.
Yeah, good to have you. You flew in from Texas just to see us, I guess.
I did. Just to see you guys.
Which I don't understand, but hey, I mean, I'm happy to see your face. So I mean, and we're happy to have you here. And then on the other side of the table, we've got John Sakari, aka Big Fat Panda, is with us.
Welcome home, everyone.
And the one, the only, do it, Jeff Haslam.
What's up, everybody? Welcome.
We apologize in advance for if any of this sounds worse than normal or if any of it looks worse than normal. I don't apologize for the fact that if Jeff and Panda freeze at some point, it's been happening when we've been testing this morning. So, and I didn't have that on you. So,
Ready?
Yeah, please
Do it again, please.
try again.
There we go. Yeah, so if that happens at any point, please just screenshot that on your computer and add some like bubble captions or something. Also, big shout out to whoever listened to us during our last show and put, I think it was putting Derek's head on Jeff's body.
Oh, that was amazing.
And they could not have picked a better facial expression for Derek.
It was amazing because it literally kind of freaked me out because I was like, wait a second, I don't have that shirt. Like, wait, did I ever do this? It was a fantastic job, whoever did it, so kudos.
Derek should sing the song again.
I'm probably going to use this frame for most of the show, but I am...
Everybody.
Yeah,
Oh.
just
Don't pick your noses.
everyone... we are going to mess with the audio a little bit just to try to pump it up a little bit. I know some of you are saying that it's a little bit low. I do apologize. And you guys just try to talk into the mics a little bit more, and hopefully that alleviates some of the problem. I feel like we've not mastered this whole setup yet. We've only done like...
It's always in a different place. You can't master it.
It's always a different
Yeah,
room.
it's always a different room. We're playing with kind of the equipment that we're using a little bit. We don't do these live streams so all that often, and so it's a little bit...
It's usually just the two of us.
It's usually just the two of us
just a lot
and our
easier.
3 dogs in a room together. But yeah, we're happy to have everyone here. We've got some other friends with us. We've got Jeff, Dan, Amy. They are with us as well here in the room, and they will kind of swap in and out as we kind of talk through some stuff today. But love having you all here, and hope you guys can enjoy the next couple hour and a half, however long we do all of this, and we'll have some fun together.
I
But
signed up for 6 hours. So is that not happening?
6 hours.
It could happen. You'll just be here for 5 of them on your own.
So we're going to start off the conversation today actually with a question that we have gotten from you guys. I know you guys are saying more light and everything. We don't have lighting. This is what we got.
It's very dim
we're
at Saratoga
working
Springs.
with the lighting of Saratoga Springs. So
Yeah.
Here,
yeah.
we'll use our phones.
We're maxed out on the lighting.
Maxed out on everything we're doing, and that's why it's a live stream. And
Someone said that you and I were quieter than everybody else.
I might be able
and
to fix
I
that.
talk very loud, so that's Paul.
Yeah.
Crank it up.
Yeah,
Is
we'll
that
crank it
any
up a little
better?
bit. We'll see if it gets better.
Crank it
We'll
up
kind of
to
play
11.
with it throughout the show. So let us know how it goes, and we'll do our best. Apologize in advance to all the audio listeners out there because it's going to be all over the place, and mostly this is just on video today. So it is what it is. But I think I said this already. We're going to start off by talking some news topics related to Disney Vacation Club that we have kind of talked about over the past week or so. And so just a couple things we noted that a lot of people are asking about. And the number one thing that most people have questions about right now is related to the Polynesian Island Tower and kind of the timeline of what we can expect with this new property. Currently, we do have the property opening in mid-December, so we know that's occurring. We also have cash reservations for sale, so you can book a cash reservation at this time for grand opening and beyond. But no news just as of yet related to the sales or anything like that.
Yeah, and we are getting asked this pretty much every day. Will you check Derek's mic while I talk for a second? But basically, Riviera opened in December of 2019, and those points actually started going on sale in March. So we are well past March. Polynesian is opening supposedly this December 17th. Is it the 17th? Mm-hmm. And we're way past when Riviera had already gone on sale. We're literally just, less than 6 months out?
Yeah.
5 months? So I feel like they're holding back purposely right now. Are they doing really well with their cash sales? If that's going really well, maybe they don't want DVC members to book yet, and so they're not selling those points yet. It's a crapshoot, but it's not in line time frame with what we've seen. We're already well past that date of what other resorts have gone on sale.
Yeah. So as always, we're just going to give you thoughts and predictions. We'll start over on this side of the table. Panda, Jeff.
Well, without Amy making a prediction for me to copy, it's going to be pretty difficult, but I'll try. I can't wait till I go into my dashboard and be able to book the tower, though. I might just fall off my chair when I see it because I'll be very excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So what do you want us to...
What are we predicting?
What date is it going to go on sale?
Oh, man, I thought it would already happen by now. So I'm going to just throw out July 30th, but I have no idea, honestly.
Amy, when do you think? Because I'll think the same.
I haven't even really thought about it. I think it's going to be last minute. I think we're looking at October.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. That's sad for me and everybody else.
Derek?
I 100%, and I'm going to talk into the mic because I heard people can't hear me. I 100% believe it will be October because that is when the fiscal year
starts
a good point. For Disney.
That's a good point.
That's going to boost their fiscal year by an incredible amount when that thing goes on sale. So October 1st, that is my prediction.
All right.
I was literally looking at the calendar, October 1st. That's what I think.
Or
I could say the 2nd. For 5 minutes. October 2nd for 5 minutes.
We're going to dream the Price is Right.
Do they usually announce the exact date, or is it just one day it's in the dashboard?
We do normally get a kind of an update from Disney Vacation Club as to, members can book as of this date. So for kind of the timeline of everything, we would expect to see some filings related to when the Polynesian is actually going on sale. So basically some declaration of points for the new tower. That's going to be the first inkling for us. Then those points are going to actually go on sale. And around the time that the points go on sale, we will get kind of that announcement that new people buying into the Polynesian can book as of this date. Existing owners can book as of this date, and then kind of the rest of the masses at a different point in time. So,
does anybody think that when this does finally go on sale, it's going to be their incentives this time instead of X number off the money? It's going to be you buy 200 points of the Poly, you get a free cabin. Is that?
Too soon.
Wait, do you get a free stay at the cabin?
I think you get a free cabin at this point.
I think they're going to do what they did with Grand Floridian. I mean, I really do think that was very, very successful for DVC.
My smartness is rubbing off on Corey.
I've only known you about 2 hours, so it really is.
I totally agree with Corey that I think a lot of folks out there are kind of, I'm waiting to see because I think the Poly's going to have huge promos when it goes on sale. And I've been saying from the very beginning, it won't need huge promos. People are dying to buy this resort. And I remember working direct for Disney when the Grand Floridian first went on sale. The promos were zero promos. That resort never had promos. They literally kept raising the price over and over and over again, trying to slow it down because the Polynesian wasn't ready yet. That's a true story. Like, they literally were like, oh my God, what do we do? This thing is going to sell out too fast. So let's just raise the price again. It didn't matter. So I think the demand for the Poly is going to be so high that maybe there's promos. I lean towards there's not going to be any promos because I just don't think that they'll need it. But the most important date that I'm waiting for is hopefully soon we're going to find out what condo association it's
Do we have any indication for?
Had to bring it up.
We got to find a new Derek. I've said this twice. If there's any Dereks in the chat that want to be a part of this, we got to.
It doesn't even matter if you spell your name the same.
Angela in the chat said, I think they're going to announce the date at D23.
That's a good idea. It's good.
Yeah.
It could be.
They'll announce in August that it's going to be October. Like Derek said.
I actually think probably at D23 we're going to get some sort of new Disney Vacation Club news, as much as Derek hates the fact that there will be another resort. But I do think we'll kind of get a bigger announcent coming out of
I want to go back to what Derek was saying about Grand Floridian and there not being any promos when it was originally selling. Since we've been in the DVC realm, which is since 2018, which is a decent amount of time.
We're getting old.
Grand Floridian is the first resort when they were selling Big Pine Key, the first resort that we saw Disney exercise right of first refusal on while it was still actively selling because they needed the points that fast. So there is a lot of power in those monorail resorts, and I think they know that with the Polynesian Tower.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it always goes back to when folks ask, well, which resort do I buy when they're learning about what the club is? The fact that all you have to say is the Polynesian. The fact is you just point to, right over there. It's not like, well, where is it? Well, where are these cabins again? Or where is Riviera? It's on the sky. Everybody knows the Polynesian, so that thing will literally sell itself. And I just saw it yesterday, and I kind of like the new, there's color coming to it. So
this morning.
No, it's looking pretty.
It's pretty.
Jarrett said, I'll take a run at Derek's spot. I have a lot of loud shirts and bucket hats. So
you have a bucket hat because of me. A couple weeks ago. That's why.
Where is your bucket hat? He's got it in.
It is never far from him. That is the truth. There is never a bucket hat too far away.
Which also, if you are coming tonight, I think you have a good supply of bucket hats.
I do. I might have, the last time I checked, I think I have 743. So I have them. I literally will have like a satchel, like I'm climbing like Everest. I have a Sherpa with me when we head over to Disney Springs. So yeah, you're all set. So if you see us tonight, whether you want it or not, you're getting a bucket hat.
And if you see Derek stopped at security, you'll realize that the bucket hats raised some suspicion.
And if you're talking to him and he all of a sudden starts rummaging through his backpack, don't get freaked out.
Yeah, he doesn't introduce himself first. It's like he just immediately just goes into the backpack and then comes up, and then you get to meet Derek after he has a bucket hat in hand.
He chooses the hat for you.
He chooses the hat based on what he thinks your personality style is.
So, Poly Tower, those are our thoughts for now. Hopefully we get some more news coming later this month. I think that probably we will learn more probably end of July, early August. My prediction is sometime probably in late August, early September, we'll begin to see sales begin so that both they can kind of piggyback the end of the current fiscal year and the beginning of the 2025 fiscal year, which starts on October 1st. Did I miss something?
No, I'm still laughing about the chooses the hat. I'm thinking about Harry Potter. Oh, polyester,
Ravenclaw,
3.5 inch head.
Your home resort is Wolverine.
Oh,
that's
boy.
Wow.
We're on a roll. So
Corey started it.
we doing good over there? Yeah? How's everything? We're good. The rest of we've got, as I mentioned before, we've got Dan, Jeff, Amy. You'll see them in a little bit here, but they're off to the side, and they're also kind of letting us know if things sound good, if the stream goes down, if one of our cameras freeze.
Downstairs.
I know.
Yeah, he's going to take the escalator down to the lower level. We are going to talk about the tree houses a little bit later in the stream, so stay tuned for that. We do want to kind of give our review, and also there is a question in the live chat right now focusing on what is the most unique DVC accommodation type of these odd ones? So we're thinking Copper Creek cabins, we're thinking Polynesian bungalows, the new Fort Wilderness cabins, or these tree houses. And Lauren De La Cruz, who is amazing, is in the chat moderating things
And
today.
she will also be around this evening at
She
DVC
will be,
Springs,
yeah.
So if you're coming, you'll get to meet Lauren.
And Lauren did an amazing article over on DVC Fan recently that kind of summarized all of these accommodation types and ranked them. And so head over to dvcfan.com and view that article. So I love this. Tom said in chat, the Polynesian will sell out before Blue Ribbon Corn Dogs open. I agree, Tom.
100%.
I completely agree. They have Blue Ribbon Corn Dogs. They have gone back and forth on that.
Right. We got really excited. They removed all the shrubbery.
The shrubbery was gone.
And now it's back.
And now it's back again. So I don't know if they're tearing it down at this point. They decided it was a bad concept, but yeah.
That's a shrubbery.
Did they put the shrubbery up to like hide that they're working on it?
Apparently, yeah. Even though
It's
you can see
taller
most of it.
than me, but you can see some of it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
so-
halfway.
What's crazy to me is corn dog isn't new science. Like, we've had corn dogs for a while, and the fact that they cannot seem to get this corn dog stand, like,
Right.
there's literally corn dogs everywhere, and I don't know, this boardwalk thing is never happening. It's
Well,
never.
yeah, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but that's why Paul hired me. I was at Epcot last night and looking at, again, Communicore, right? That took, what, 5 years? And we looked inside of it and went, this is not 5 years worth of waiting for this thing. So when you ask about corn dogs, why is it taking so long? Just look at Epcot. Again, I loved being able to see straight through Epcot, like from one side to the other side. I thought it was amazing. But my God, you just walk in there and you open up the door to Communicore and you're like,
It looks like a skull cafeteria.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And they
Smells
announced
like one.
the transformation of Epcot is complete. Really? Okay.
Oh, they froze.
They did freeze. Yep. No. The other two did.
Oh, you
They go,
always-
oh, everyone went away. There we go. Yep. So I told you it was going to happen.
Yeah, do that until
We bring it. We bring them back. We bring them back. They're back.
Cut
Okay.
to the ceiling fan shot.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to deal with that camera freezing throughout the live stream, but we'll have fun with it. So next topic of discussion that we wanted to hint on is whatever. Summer 2024 direct sales incentives actually came out not too long ago, and kind of a snooze fest,
Yeah,
I think.
not much going on.
Not too much exciting going on in terms of direct sales. Well, nothing related to the cabins at Fort Wilderness, nothing related to Riviera, Alani, Disneyland Hotel really changed in terms of the incentives being offered. The interesting thing that we've seen is the same thing that we saw last quarter with Old Key West. So they did an aggressive direct sales incentive for Old Key West, and they sold a lot of points because they ROFR'd a lot of points,
Okay.
right? I mean, they bought a lot back during those couple months. And so it seems like they're trying to see, does lightning strike twice this time? Because they have added on and decided that they're going to do this with both Bay Lake Tower and Saratoga, right?
Saratoga.
Are they changing the name to Old Key Jeff?
Yes.
We're working on it.
We're gradually working on
I
it.
heard that somewhere.
He controls the ROFR there.
Right.
He has
I
the
wish.
right of first refusal.
Yeah. So, Derek, any thoughts on kind of what they're doing with that? What maybe that means for ROFR?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy just having to, again, and I think I talked about it when they started up ROFR again, it's just so strange to have to reach out to people.
Listen,
and
I
tell
think
them,
if you say the word one more time, it might.
ROFR?
It's like Beetlejuice.
Oh,
Sometimes it
ROFR.
comes.
Sometimes it comes, so I would be careful.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to wait till later.
Spell it out.
so the other day I had to reach out to a lovely member that bought Old Key West, and I had to tell them that their contract was ROFR'd, unfortunately. And it was Old Key West, and they were like, I don't understand, right? Because there's so many other contracts that were right around the same level that I have. Was it the price? Was it the number of points? And I said, that's probably the hardest thing to ever try to come to fruition with when it comes to Disney is sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Like, why was this 230-point contract bought back at this price when 6 or 7 of the exact same ones, right around the exact same price, did make it through? So right now, the ones that seem to have a target on their back obviously are, Polynesian, Old Key West, and
Yeah.
Paul, if I'm not mistaken, what, like a few grand?
Yeah,
as well?
a couple random Grand Floridians.
Oh, wow.
We're not quite sure kind of what the
But
real
that's it.
reason.
I mean,
It's,
you know,
it's whoever was signed in that day.
Yeah, and just to further go in on how little rhyme or reason sometimes it has, especially to us, and there could be rhyme and reason, we just logically thinking through it. But when they were exercising right of first refusal a lot, 2 years ago, they were skipping over regular Old Key West 2024 contracts and purchasing some Old Key West extended contracts, and they were paying more for those. They have the ability to extend them themselves. I don't understand, why would you not take the cheaper ones?
Random!
Random! There.
Oh, you said it again.
Random!
That's what happened.
Keep you surprised.
How we doing, ROFR Monster? Yeah? Good?
Yum!
Yum?
Poor Jeff. I gotta tell you,
I need new friends.
it's a lot creepier in person. I didn't realize.
I didn't know the lips were so big.
And I didn't realize it had sparkles. Why the
Because
sparkles?
she
The
or he
glittery.
loves DVC contracts.
I'm gonna say, as an owner of Old Key West, Poly, and Grand Floridian, I'm glad they're buying stuff back because it keeps that value up, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Especially Old Key West, because I feel like I've seen contracts come through going,
Yeah.
I'm going to lose money. I mean, not that you're gaining money, but the value, you want the value of that resort to remain. So I'm glad they are buying some of those back.
100%. And too, I mean, for those people out there that are still thinking about buying and looking at every day, I talk to people that are snagging Saratoga Springs right now at insane deals.
Yeah,
Of like 90, 95, I mean, under $100 a point, which would be absolutely unheard of. That maybe a couple of years ago, maybe you could find a seller willing to do it, but you would not sleep at night, meaning that thing is definitely going to be bought back. So the fact that right now they haven't bought back a Saratoga in like a year and a half. Wow. So the fact that you can get crazy deals like that without having to worry about John's creepy monster.
Well, this is way off topic, but Vero Beach.
Oh, I just saw Vero Beach at $44 a point come across my desk. Yeah, so that's a little heartbreaking to me. I love Vero Beach, and you love Vero Beach.
I love it.
I don't want to see those values drop that far. I'd love to see Disney step in a little bit more there.
Anna said, I just bought a Saratoga contract, 300 points with double points for $95 per point. Currently waiting on ROFR. So we'll see if the ROFR Monster gets hungry with the new Saratoga incentives. If they run out of points, they potentially will decide to eat some more. Since we are talking about, just buying resale and everything, I did forget this at the top of the show, but this amazing cabin today, this amazing experience, all these amazing people here with us would not be possible without our sponsors at the World of DVC. DVC.
We don't do that.
Don't do it. Don't do it. DVC Resale Market, if you're looking to buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract, Derek and all of the amazing agents over at DVC Resale Market can assist. Monera Financial, if you're looking for a way to afford that, they can help with financing options for that DVC resale contract purchase. And the DVC Rental Store, where you can try before you buy, rent your points, or rent out your own points. And I looked to the side of me just to see if I still had it here, because I wanted to focus on DVC Rental Store just for a quick second. And I did ask.
He put gel in his hair. He's like, he's too
it's like, I am. I'm too afraid to mess up my hair.
Make Derek wear.
Derek loves his hair even more. It's amazing. So the holidays are coming up before you know. I feel like I have to hunch down here a little bit. The holidays are coming before you know it, and as part of kind of Christmas in July, kicking off on Monday, and I'm giving you all kind of early access to this. Kicking off on Monday, DVC Rental Store is going to run a special Christmas in July giveaway, and that giveaway includes 2 nights in a deluxe studio here at Saratoga Springs Resort, 4 tickets to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
That's a good deal. Those are expensive.
And some cash in your pocket, a $500 Disney gift card. So, yes. So I am going to put the link of that giveaway in the chat here as I wear my hat and I try to do like 12 things at the same time. But if you go to the link that I have just now posted, it is dvcrentalstore.com/Christmas giveaway. Then you can enter. You just need to put in your name and email address and enter the giveaway. The giveaway runs through next week and will end next Friday. And yeah, pretty awesome
That's
prize.
awesome.
The travel dates are for I think it's like the first weekend of December. So it's I believe
It's like end of November,
believe
beginning of
it's
December.
Saturday.
That's
fun
the
Saturday and
best
Sunday.
time.
Yeah,
Best time to
so
come.
perfect time to come. Awesome. Thank you again to the DVC rental store. And you're going to hear that's going to be plastered everywhere on social media on Monday. So you guys I can't say that you get any extra access,
and
but
honestly,
you get early
if you
access
win
too.
and you don't make it to the stay, a $500 Disney gift card, I'd take
And
that.
the
Yeah, just take the gift card.
Take the gift card.
Yeah.
Well, and if, for example, if you're a family of 1 or 2 and you have 2 extra tickets, we know some guys.
Yeah, right here.
We've not talked about this.
We're
as
good
a-
at parties.
We've not talked about this as a group yet, but we may even try to see if we can go that same night of that party. I think that night is Sunday the 2nd of December, I think is the party night for whoever is staying that week. But
That will either make people want to enter or not.
yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be like, just kidding.
Yeah.
Sounded good.
Hey, did you
We don't want to see you guys.
did you dig through your bag for that hat?
I asked. So I immediately, the first person that I text and asked, do you have a Santa hat in your props kit is Derek. And he did not. But thankfully, Panda, the master.
I love that hat with the Mickey ears on it. It's great.
Yeah. So.
Fitting.
I'll get you on the show. You look good in
If
it.
you're ever
Perfect.
in need of a Santa hat or a really creepy puppet, John is your man. You're all set.
There's no puppet. That is the ROFR monster. We just have a relationship all of
Or
us with
sketchy Mickeys from Mexico.
the ROFR. Oh, God.
So we're going to take kind of a 5 to 10 minute here, kind of just regroup. We're going to answer some of your questions during this regroup while we switch out some people here. We are going to talk a little bit about Saratoga too. Derek, this was kind of your idea, right?
Yeah.
So Derek had an idea, and I'm just going to put the camera on us, and if you guys back there want to kind of rotate at all, or if you just want to stay in your towel cocoon over there, that's fine too.
What is happening right
Amy's
now?
over there just like
Oh, she's
in a-
under a blanket.
she's in a babushka. She is freezing cold. Derek, you stay you stay because I want to talk about Saratoga Springs a little bit because this was your beautiful idea. If you do have a question for us, please go ahead and put it in the chat right now. We'll answer some of these right now. We'll come back to this a couple times throughout the show and just answer any general questions you have for us. I'm sure we can get some doozies. We also had a lot of questions asked recently in the DVC fan Facebook group that Amy and I are kind of going through and answering as a different video that'll come up on our DVC fan YouTube channel.
And Jeff and I answered some of them today. There's
Yeah.
a couple
It was fun.
really good
It was a
ones.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Derek, lay on us the facts of Saratoga Springs.
So I thought it'd be fun when I knew that we were, blessed enough to be able to come here, and it's so nice to sit next to Jeff and see everybody in person. It's so awesome. So
These shirts look better in real life. I'm not going to lie.
Also, if Corey looks short sitting next to Derek, Jeff just looks
I need a
sad.
booster.
a booster seat. So I thought, why not look up a little bit of, fun facts? Everybody likes fun facts about it. So I know we're going to be in a treehouse, and I thought maybe throughout the live broadcast we could even pepper in a few questions.
The glasses. Can you look straight into the camera for us for a second? Just like
Okay, it's better. It's better.
they got better.
I was,
I don't know what happened.
I normally use reading glasses, and I buy them like in bulk, right? Like 30 at a time, just because I go through them like crazy. So my wife splurged and bought me a really good pair of reading glasses, and this is what happens.
okay, they're better now.
Okay, they're all better. So I thought we would talk a little bit about Saratoga. I thought we'd share some fun facts about the tree houses and maybe even pepper in a few trivia questions that maybe if we have any prizes. I don't know, do we have a few prizes maybe to give away? I mean, I always got bucket hats, so
bucket hats?
You are the man of many prizes. So
I got it.
all I have is a giveaway that's actual cash value is $2,000.
So let's start with, how about the history of the Treehouse Villas?
Okay.
But I feel like because it's like a historic thing, like almost like a documentary, I'm not going to read it in my normal voice.
So I'm ready. I'm here for it.
Yes. Debuting in 1975, the Treehouse Villas were part of the Lake Buena Vista mixed-use community, think Epcot 2.0, that never fully came to fruition, save for these and some other villas. They were later rolled into the failed Disney Institute concept, the predecessor of Saratoga Springs.
Glasses are fogging up.
Before closing together and being used for, I didn't even know this, international college program housing. That's what the tree houses were for a
The
while.
tree houses?
Mhm. each of the Disney's, guess how many tree houses there are? That's my first question. Guess how many total?
150.
Nope. No.
60.
I'm going to say 68.
Okay,
I
Paul?
have no idea.
I felt we counted earlier. It was like 60.
Did you walk around and count them all?
Well, no, we
we're
looked at a
but
sign
we're
and
in
we
45.
counted.
I think you're probably over.
It's in the 60s.
Like 60.
It's in the 60s.
60.
Okay.
Each of Disney's 60
Oh.
tree houses are
I will.
approximately-
Jeff
I
was
will
right.
say
Jeff was
before he
right.
goes any further that I had help from a peanut gallery behind me because
Aw, did you just get him
Jeff.
coffee?
Yes, he did. He's
How
amazing.
sweet.
But Jeff was behind everyone. You couldn't see him, but he was back there getting me coffee and going 60 because we literally just stood at a sign and we counted this like not too long ago.
But they are 1,074 square feet in size, and they can sleep up to, how many guests can sleep in here legally?
9.
9.
10.
9.
9. Sleep up to 9 people.
Plus an infant under 3 or under.
Well, there you go. They can
His
sleep out by the grill.
His classes are getting worse.
I
I
know.
can't.
It's 10 if you put a bunch of
take
towels
it
on top of this table. It's 10.
It's like,
They sleep 9 and are planned to offer, and they offer modern luxuries such as partial cathedral ceilings, a barbecue grill, and flat panel televisions. Makes it sound like those old hotels all beside it.
All right.
free
This is like. All right, we'll come back to reading hour with Derek in a little bit later. We did have a couple nice comments that came in during it, though. I gotta back up in my comments a little bit here. Let's see. First, we've got.
Oh, someone said I saw Denny writing for DVC Rental Store, and that made them happy, and that is correct.
That is correct. Denny Sunderly is now writing some blogs for DVC Rental Store, so she's doing a blog a week.
awesome.
Yeah, I got to be on a call with her recently and talk to her for a little bit, so it's amazing to have her on board with us. We had Lisa write in and say, those are not Carol Channing glasses, thank goodness.
Okay, can we get a shot of Derek real quick? Get into, look really
I know.
close into the camera. How can he see?
They're pretty steamy. Yeah. I'm going to take them off now.
It's not even. It's cool in here.
It's
Freezing.
full
Which is
hot air,
why I
that's
was under
why.
winter.
That's because I'm sitting next to Haslam.
Hey, you got it right.
warming up a little bit. So we're going to answer a couple quick questions before we move on, but also just to introduce the new people that are at the table now. We've got Dan, or that goes better off by DVC Dan.
DVC fans, DVC Dan.
There
Just to
you go.
clarify.
Yeah.
All
Hi,
right,
everybody.
And I do
Hello.
want to say that Dan does it all. He made sourdough bread. He ironed your shirt for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm speaking into the microphone this time.
Yeah, and he's now
Much
speaking into the
better. Leaning
microphone.
forward.
Yeah.
I was remediated for a long time.
And we've got, I guess we should call her Jeff's Amy.
This is Blamey.
Blamey. We have Amy and Blamey.
Yeah.
Blonde Amy.
Come on, Amy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to move the mic. You got to take microphone lessons from Dan, so.
I'm not the target this time.
Dan feels so happy. Let's see. We've got one question. What is the break-even number in terms of cost to decide if DVC Direct is worth it? That's a $1 million question that's really unique depending on your situation and how you kind of want to use Direct. And I think the real question is how beneficial are some of the benefits with Direct, like the discount on annual passes.
Well,
So-
yeah, it's not really a discount. You get to buy the
You get to
Sorcerer
buy
Pass.
the Sorcerer
So
Pass.
if you live
which-
in Florida, that is no benefit to you at all because
Correct.
you can buy all the passes already.
Mm-hmm. So so I really, it's I don't know of a better way to say it than it's kind of a unique situation depending on the person, and I think have that discussion potentially if you are looking direct with a direct guide, and then potentially if you're looking resale, obviously call DVC Resale Market and talk with them because these are questions that they work through. They can look at the number of points that you're looking to potentially purchase. They can look at the resort. A lot of different factors go into that number and that consideration.
Well, and a lot of it goes into how often are you coming. If you're coming once a year, you're going to hit that number faster than somebody that comes once every 3. So
Right.
it's very unique to your personal situation, I think.
And that's just it too, is that everybody's going to have a different break even. But the point is why so many people, after they do research to buy resale, is you're just going to hit your break even faster because you paid less money. That's it. So if I bought a Disney Vacation Club membership for $25,000 versus buying it direct for $45,000, I'm going to hit my break-even point a lot faster. That's just common sense.
Yeah, I think that we, and a lot of people have a blended membership. We bought direct for the sole purpose that we would have FOMO not going to
Moonlight Magic.
Moonlight Magic. So
We spent a lot of money on a free party, I guess.
Right. So it does
Most
matter.
expensive ice cream sandwiches you've ever gotten.
I enjoy
Yeah.
it every time I eat them, though.
So the emotional aspect, is a different aspect than looking at the financials. How upset are you going to be if you can't take part in some of those things? So that, you have to weigh out all those options.
Yeah. Let's see. Another question that we had come in. Do you think the new Poly Tower changes boat transportation from the resort? There's just going to be a lot of people trying to squeeze into one boat stop now as a result of the changes there. Thoughts?
And we've kind of talked about this a little bit before, that they're going to have to expand the transportation in some way because the monorails are already too full. Boats, ferry. I think they're going to have to do something, but we haven't really seen.
We're going to
plans
need
for
a
that.
bigger boat.
We're going
That's a good way to put it, yeah. Continuing through, let's see, what other questions? We had all kinds of people were guessing the numbers and everything like that. We got a specific one for Derek. Tom said, sell me Saratoga, Derek. I can book it 7 months and never intend on staying there. Would I be better off buying Copper Creek with the 2068 expiration?
So, Tom, great question. I just had this conversation with someone yesterday.
Was his name Tom?
No, it was as a matter of fact. But sorry, someone was making animal noises over there. So I think that's where it comes down to, that if you love Copper Creek, and I know we say it time and time again, buy where you want to stay. But if you love Copper Creek, and if you're going to be sad at not getting Copper Creek at 7 months out, and Copper Creek is not the easiest resort to get sometimes, especially during the month of December, to get it at even 11 months out, that if you're going to be sad, then you need to buy Copper Creek. If you don't care and you're fine staying whatever's available, book. I just told this person yesterday, I said, fine, book Saratoga. Do you have to book it 11, 10, 9, 8 months out? Absolutely not. But you know what? Do it. It's your security blanket. So book it. Then at 7 months out, whatever's available, you go onto the website and say, hey, look, Copper's available. Perfect. Click it, book it. Polynesian's available. Maybe the Boardwalk's available. But if you love Copper Creek, you need to buy Copper Creek, because you don't want to spend your whole entire membership being bummed out because you couldn't get in to Copper Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, Saratoga is the best value right now. I think we've already talked about that. And when I use my old Key West points, which were the best value when I bought them, my stays at the Grand Floridian are way cheaper than the people that bought a Grand Floridian. You know what I mean? So, and you can always, there's literally Saratoga available next week. I looked this morning. It's not hard to get here if you want it. But.
No, and plus, even in terms of just overall selection, you're going to find a ton of Saratoga. And somebody asked me and said, why is there so much Saratoga? Is that like a bad thing? Like, is it a bad resort? I said, no, it's just the largest Disney Vacation Club resort. So you'll have the most amount of points. But when it comes to you shopping for points, you're going to have the most amount of inventory to be able to pick and choose the right one that works for you. So again, price, dues, deed, selection, Saratoga's a slam dunk. If you don't care where you stay at 7 months out.
Sleep around points.
Somebody
wanted us to talk about what that was.
Okay, yeah. So we'll do that. I just want to say one thing. Don't lose that thought. I want to say something to the point. So Saratoga is the best upfront value. Mm-hmm. It's going to save you the most money versus Copper Creek if you're buying now. But then when you're looking at long-term value, and remember we did that DVC economics, so you're looking at the annual dues over time, you're looking at how many years are left in your contract, and the price per point. Copper Creek is number one.
Yeah, Copper Creek is number one.
In terms of, but that's long-term. If you're not going to have it long-term, Saratoga, you know what I mean? So it just depends on.
And one person at this table is considering a Copper Creek contract.
This is very true. Yes, correct. Actually, Jeff and I were sold for quite a while on Old Key West. We absolutely love Old Key West. And we've stayed here a couple times, and Saratoga's pretty cool, actually. But recently we've had some experience at Copper Creek. We had one overnight stay, and we absolutely fell in love with that resort. So we loved the layout of the studio we had. It feels kind of like you're away from the parks a little bit, but you're still sort of in the woods. You've got a lot of walking trails. There's a lot to see. You know, there's is there two pools there?
Yeah.
You know, quiet pool and a more sort of family busy pool. We loved that quiet pool. Our studio was right outside of that. We could walk. It was 20 feet from us. So we had a fantastic time. So that is definitely something that we are going to look into in the next probably year of getting a contract there for sure.
And Jeff is just off to my left here. You'll see him in a little bit, but I did want to put up this lovely comment from Mary Littig chimed in. And Mary, we miss you. Mary was here for our boardwalk SummerFest weekend, and she was on the show. So it was amazing to have her here. And your name has come up already today in the treehouse. We said, "Is Mary going to be here?" We're like, "Oh no." So we were sad that you're not here again. But Mary said, "Jeff, I saw Jeff going crazy trying to give the treehouse answer." So that made the live stream, and I am so excited. I'm so excited to rewind and see that later and slow it down.
Can we put the camera back there and have Jeff do his walking down the stair bit? Because that was pretty good too.
That was good.
I'm being serious.
And it was very hard for us to actually gain our composure after the 60-second intro. And I'm going to record the intro music that we now use for the DVC show with Derek singing his lyrics to it, because it was like, what were you doing? It was like a hype show or something?
Yeah, it was kind of like a hype show, because you kept saying, "All right, everybody, places, 60 seconds, and then 45.
But then all the lyrics to the Saratoga Treehouse.
Treehouse lyrics.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and
fly.
the timing of like the peak crescendo of the song,
And it was very loud too, because I was listening into to make sure the audio was okay in the other bedroom here, and I could hear through the door, through the walls, what was being sung. So
it was
job.
glorious, and it's one of those moments that I just wish I wish the main microphone track was not muted during that intro music, but we'll try to replicate it for you somehow. But just going through any other questions here, seeing if there's anything else before we kind of move on. I think we've gotten most of them here. I
just want to say too that us sitting here looking outside is the coolest place that I've ever done any kind of a show like this. It is absolutely, I mean, so what you guys see is kind of behind us, which is the kitchen, and I know everybody's going to talk about the cabins in just a little bit, with the tree houses, but this is just unbelievable. Like, you forget that, like, we're literally in Central Florida.
Yeah,
it's just
beautiful.
so cool. So cool.
I get to stare at you.
I'm sorry about that.
It feels like you're in the
have
street.
to.
Oh, and then I got everyone totally pushed off track. Jeff, tell everybody what sleep around points are.
So it's a term that's been kicked around lately. Sleep around points are points that you buy for no other reason than to use somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like they're cheap, they're fast, and they're to be used at your 7-month window wherever you want to book. You know that Saratoga is kind of where people are buying them right now. It was Old Key West for a while. No intention of ever using them at those properties, but to use them.
Yeah.
You know,
what about Vero Beach at 40-something points? Are those sleep around points?
They would be, but the dudes
with those dudes,
make them a really expensive one-night stand.
Okay. Yeah.
Our buddy David actually wrote a blog a long time ago. I think it's still up on DVC Fan. It was called like the One Night DVC Stand, and it was about like him staying. Not just him staying one night in a villa. He flew in, stayed one night, flew out, and left. So that's a lot.
Corey.
Corey flew in.
2 nights.
He's doing 2 nights at least, but I mean, same kind of thing. And I apologize in advance because you're going to get a rant from Derek on this one. Teacher Shenanigans said, with Resale, do you miss out on all the benefits?
Hold on, I got to find the helmet.
Yeah. You got to protect yourself on that one. So in terms of benefits, obviously there are certain things that Disney Vacation Club calls membership extras, member benefits, magical something. They change the name, I feel like, every other month. And you've got to buy so many points to qualify that or become a DVCY, or in historical terms, a DVC Blue card holder that gives you access to those. Derek, is there a disclaimer in every single DVC contract? A little bit about the functionality of those and whether or not
I actually wrote a song about it. No, yeah, it's that's probably the most asked question that we get here at the DVC resale market is, so if I buy, do I get any of those perks? Do I get any of those benefits? And the answer is absolutely not. However, I want to make it clear to everyone out there that when you buy direct, and they sell you on the perks and the discounts and the private parties and the free this and you get free that, the last page of that contract that you sign says, just so you know, we can take every one of these things away at any time we want, and you can't do anything about it. So signed by Mickey and date by the palm tree. That's literally what they tell you. So again, and I know that there's DVC fans out there that remember when we used to get things like my beloved free valet parking was a huge one when I joined. So these perks will come, these perks will go. Do not buy your membership based on this. Do not buy it because someone tells you, or your vacation club guide says how amazing the Moonlight Magic parties are, that you literally have to wake up like at 3 a.m. with 6 laptops and have your neighbors doing it, praying to God that you're, number 300,000.
And have already had a thing booked for that accidental week that happens to occur.
Bingo. Perfect. So that's what we stress. So again, take your time. Do your research. Don't buy based off of any temporary perks or any temporary little discounts or any temporary member lounges. So again, those are all temporary. So what you want to do, why people buy with us, is that they look to say, buy the resort you need. Don't just buy the 200 plus per point resort that Disney tells you to buy. And don't buy, for the love of God, because of a temporary 10% off of Wetzel's Pretzels. Don't do that.
Well, and there's a lot of good people in chat that have kind of been chiming in.
I'm
And
hungry. Yum.
everyone's losing their mind over 10% off at Wetzel's Pretzels. That is not a thing, folks. I'm sorry.
Also, to Derek, 3 a.m. feels a lot, or 11 a.m. feels a lot like 3 a.m. apparently.
A lot of people in the chat are talking, though, about find other ways to do to get your discounts, and I 100% agree with that. Find ways. BJ's Wholesale, you can get discounted Disney gift cards. Amy actually on the DVC Fan YouTube channel, also on Instagram, Shorts, all those kind of places. Amy did a recent, we do a DVC Tip of the Week series, and Amy gives a different tip every week, and this week's was actually related to discounted Disney gift cards. And between the savings that you can get, depending on the time of year, you can significantly bring down those costs. You can significantly bring down the cost as it relates to the cost of an annual pass. So you can essentially recreate those benefits.
Right.
And
to be
those
clear,
discounts.
we're not against direct, because I think all of us,
We probably all
Dan
have
and
directs,
Jeff has
correct?
a direct contract.
Yeah.
We have 2 direct contracts.
So there's been 2 polls that we've done recently on this, and both of them have kind of aligned in that it looks like about 70 to 75% of most owners that either watch our show or some reason decide to deal with our shenanigans have a direct contract. And the remainder, basically that's a combination of basically people that are like a hybrid member of resale and direct, and people that just have direct. And then cumulatively, I think it's around 70 to 80% of people have some level of a resale contract. So I've always wondered the answer to that question is how many people are direct and how many people are resale and how many people are hybrid, and that kind of does that for me. So when you actually fully break it down, it's probably I don't know, it's like 35, 30, with more members kind of being a direct owner in some capacity, and then a larger majority having added on as a resale owner. And so I think that's a stat that I've always wondered, and the only people that actually know the answer to that is DVC, I'm pretty sure. So
well, and on top of that, if I can just piggyback really quick, let's not forget, and again, everybody at this table has a direct owner. We don't want to miss out on those perks. But the biggest perk of buying resale is you're getting it for 30, 40, 50% cheaper.
I really thought.
I thought he was
going
gonna say
you were
bucket hat.
looking
I really
at
thought-
Derek, I thought it was going to be you can work with Derek DeVore.
Well,
I
that
really
too.
thought it was going to be a bucket hat.
Your plan worked. You got the hat finally.
I have 3 of these.
There we go. Oh,
I was
and,
waiting for something different than that, but yeah.
and 2 people froze again, so excuse me while I just unplug and replug in things.
So I have a question. Can I
yeah,
ask my question?
you can ask your question.
Right.
People
So
aren't going to see
this-
you for a
this
minute.
is
You're
really
fine.
kind of-
We're frozen, but you can keep
We're
talking.
frozen? Oh, okay.
No,
That's
you're
okay.
fine. Go ahead, keep
We can
talking.
talk. So my question is more about use here. So because we were looking at resale at Copper Creek soon, we have a September use year currently at Riviera, and I am trying very hard to hopefully keep that. But my question is more about how difficult is it to manage 2 use years? I think you guys have
We
2. You have a
do,
couple, and you
yeah.
mentioned to us before that it can be challenging.
I wouldn't do it normally for the reason it works for us is because we have 1 Grand California contract in a September use year, and we don't use those points anywhere else. Like those are Grand Cal points.
Okay.
Those are not sleeper items.
Yeah, if we use those anywhere else, the value of what we paid for those points, we significantly lose out because they were so expensive, even on the resale market. Then we have all of our Disney World stuff in a February use year, so it's fine because we can still use those all together.
Okay.
Yeah, if you do 2 different use years, I've seen people do 2 different use years with the same resort, which that sounds like an absolute nightmare. In order to use your points together at all, you have to call DVC. You have to do a transfer. So remember how when we shared a 2-bedroom, we transferred points and we had to both own, but since you own both, it would just be, you would be on the phone, you'd have to call. But then depending on the use year and the resort, because it's a different use year, you don't even see those points, right? Because when we gave you Grand Floridian points, you
had to call
see
to book them.
Yeah, and I will tell you that we used every one of those Grand Floridian points, but the Grand Floridian, the
Still
contract
there. It
still
looks
shows
like you
up, and I
own
have
it.
to always choose that I don't want to use that contract because there's nothing in it. And hopefully that will go away within a year or so. But
yeah, the technology is not great, so then you can't see those points. It's kind of hard to manage them. People do it, and it works for some people, but if you are just getting into DVC, you want the easiest manageability, everything online, keep the same use year.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to come back to questions in a little bit. So if you do have further questions, wait for that time to put them in chat, unless it's kind of relevant to kind of our next topic, which is a doozy, because I thought we would touch on some Disney Vacation Club while we were here today, but also let's talk about the most exciting news or the most disappointing news in the Walt Disney World universe, which is RIP Genie Plus and hello individual lightning lanes, because that was one that crept up, I think, on every single one of us, right? Like that was, no one really was expecting them to kind of fully change up the system after we learned what we were doing finally with Genie Plus, but they did do that. So Genie Plus is going away. The name, the logo, all of that stuff that they spent time on, gone. And I think we only used Genie, once?
One time with my mom.
One time with your mom.
And that was it.
Yeah. So we are definitely not experts in terms of how to use it.
No.
But
As a matter of fact, I can leave and you can bring someone else. Like, Jeff, do you know?
Yeah,
you use it all the time, don't you?
You have good experience with it. We've used it a couple times.
I'm gonna switch.
Yeah,
I'm gonna switch because I'll talk about the treehouse.
Okay, we're gonna bring Jeff in.
We're gonna do musical chairs. Derek, do you want to do some very deep reading of Saratoga again, or while we wait?
Right now, you want me to do
No, not really. But anyhow, so honestly, when it comes to our opinions on this, we are a little bit guarded in we have not used this, but from everything that I've heard about what this new system looks like, it feels very much like it's the answer to what a lot of people have complained about, which is bringing us a little bit back to the FastPass Plus days, and also bringing us a little bit closer to what Disneyland did with MaxPass. Yeah. And I think it's a nice, happy medium between that. And Corey, who's not here at the moment, but is sitting over there asleep, I think, or something. I don't know what you're doing. He's awake, but
he's watching the comments.
He said this earlier, and I thought it was a good question. What do you think the pricing is going to be? And I think that the answer to that question is Disney will definitely. They've not spent all of the money reinventing this thing to not take an opportunity to increase the price of what this looks like.
I thought that we saw that the prices were going to be relatively close. But
It's-
I
it's
bet
that-
we see some creeping up.
It's the magical term of starting at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
that's true.
that's going to be, Wednesday, January 20th. That's going to be the only day that you get the starting at price.
Did we confirm that international guests must wait to be in the United States to?
I do believe that for the most part that has been confirmed, and except for I believe that they did make an exception for Canadian guests.
Correct.
So Jeff's been following that a little bit closer, and you've done kind of some reading on this. So
Yeah. Well, I'm still writing that article. I had it all ready to go because I was comparing all of the Central Orlando Fast Pass options. Seriously, I was about to send it to Paul, and this thing came out like 2 days later, and I got to do the whole thing over again. So, not over again, but I got to fix the Disney part, and then we'll talk about it. But in the last month, I've used every single Fast Pass option at Busch Gardens, SeaWorld,
Oh, wow.
Universal, and Disney.
Wow, he's like an expert on this topic.
Wow.
I'm ready to go. And tell you where your money is and where you should be spending it.
I have literally used it once, and you guys can attest.
oh, this was like last week.
This was literally like 2 weeks ago. I have never bought Genie Plus. I will never buy Genie Plus. I've just, again, because they're literally just charging you something that used to be free. We loved being able to be at home and say, okay, we're going to Animal Kingdom on this day. Let's pick 3 things that we want to do. So
And everybody got 3. It was
got
even.
3. You
It was
got like
even.
one big ride
Yep.
and maybe but we could go to the park and at least you knew, okay, I got these 3 things that I can basically, quote unquote, walk on. So now they're charging you because, as Disney always says, is we listen to our guests. And what our guests told us was they didn't want to plan 90 days out or whatever. It's not. It's we listen to our corporate people, and we can make more money by charging you for a service.
Actually,
That's
if we look at the boards, the amount of people that are happy that they get to plan this 2 months in advance is shocking to me. Like, that is why they went back to this, is so many people
that's true.
complained
Right.
that was taken away from them.
100%.
But now the planning only goes to a week, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's they didn't want to go all the way back.
Right.
They kind of found.
Yeah, and the tricky thing too is, this keeps going back to what I've been saying for the last couple of years, is I kind of feel like at Disney, one hand's not talking, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, because you still have to book your dining reservations 60 days out.
Right.
But you can't book your fast passes or whatever we're going to call them now, a week out. So what happens if you don't get the fast passes you want, but you've already got a dining reservation? Well, 5 days out, you got to start all over.
Yeah.
It's irritating.
Yeah. True.
So I think the person at this table that has used this the most
Me?
is this guy.
Oh, yeah.
This guy.
It's you.
Compared to this guy?
It's you.
Yeah. Jeff,
Man.
you have
Can't-
family.
I can't
You
see
have family that comes to visit all the time.
Yeah.
And you have used this product probably more than anyone.
Okay, we used it
At least 5 times.
most
At
recently
least 5.
Animal Kingdom with my parents. We did
We did
we
Hollywood
did a
Studios
bunch of them
with my
the
family.
Mitchells.
Yep.
We did with your family.
The first couple times it was tough and it was very stressful.
It was tough. It was hard to figure out. The best thing that could happen was something would go down. So if you saw something
Yes.
go down, you grabbed it, you snagged it,
We've done that at Disneyland before.
and that was a loophole. So you could,
Multi-experience
yeah,
pass.
and then you would get the multi. But then you would get the multi, and then it would kind of be,
Restricted.
we got that multi
Yeah.
that night from Big Thunder.
Yes, and remember they actually just gave up and let us on Space Mountain because a whole bunch of stuff didn't qualify.
Right. Did we try
Yeah.
to do Mine Train?
Yes, and they
We
said
did.
no.
You did. We got evacuated off of Mine Train.
No, Big Thunder.
Big Thunder. Yeah.
Thunder. Sorry. Big Thunder. 20 minutes before park close.
Mm-hmm.
So then we got this multi-experience. We tried to use it at Mine Train.
Which I understand, it's
Right.
an individual page.
Right.
But then Space Mountain would be an even trade, you would think.
You would think, yeah, but we didn't get it. So that kind of, we had one friend that came and she did Magic Kingdom for the first time ever. And that was the only way we really benefited from Genie, was because we kept running into things closing down or errors. So we were able to just ride whatever.
Have you used it at all 4 parks at some point? There's definitely parks we did Epcot
Oh,
with my
then
parents.
yeah, we had all 4. Yep.
Did we use it at Hollywood?
I did. Yep. With
Yeah.
my family. Yep.
What parts does it work the best at?
Animal Kingdom.
What? I thought that would be the
No, we didn't.
Controversy.
No,
Dun,
we
dun,
didn't.
dun.
We had my parents, and we were able to do everything.
Okay, so in that regard, you're probably right. But there's only 5 rides at Animal Kingdom.
There is.
So Magic
Correct.
Kingdom, you can get more rides in per day at Magic.
You
than
can.
Animal.
I agree.
But the Animal
Yeah,
Kingdom,
but Animal
you can
Kingdom,
get everything.
Animal Kingdom was also your cheapest. I think
Yeah,
because
true.
I told my parents like it's $18 a person,
Yeah.
and my dad said that's fine. I will do that. I don't want to mess with standing in lines. It's hot.
You're all
September.
excited because you're like, look, I just booked Rafiki's Planet Watch.
And
That's fun,
Hey,
Derek.
that's
Don't
fun.
even,
That
because
train
that's
ride
fun.
back?
That train ride is fun. You get to draw. Don't even.
But that's my complaint about Epcot is they're going back to the tiers, right? With this new system.
There are
Correct.
reactive tiers,
There
yeah.
will
So
be tiers.
Epcot is the worst for that because you
Right.
get like one from tier 1, which is Soarin'.
So educate me on these tiers. What is the? So
I think Frozen, Remy,
Yeah, so
Soarin' are all in the same tier.
all in tier 1. It's Frozen, Soarin', Remy, Mission Space, and Test Track. And then
Okay.
tier 2 is like Meet Mickey,
All the crap.
Living with the Land, Figment,
All the stuff you can usually walk on
Canada,
to.
Far and Wide. Like,
Hey, now that is the.
my point is, for the same amount of money, you're getting one good ride into.
Okay,
Dan-
But
but
okay,
Canadian.
but
is
hang
there a
on.
fast pass for Muppet?
Hang on. So
Canada.
right.
Dan's Canadian for anyone who was
Easy.
wondering.
Daniel
So.
Levy
Hello
over
to
here.
all my Canadian
Um,
brothers and sisters.
So if you didn't, if at 7 a.m. you didn't book Frozen
Mhm.
and you missed out on it, you could miss out on that day. So is that still going to happen?
Yes.
Like you still could miss it?
They could get all
gonna be,
taken up,
You're
yeah.
going to be standby
Yeah.
for that ride.
So your tiered thing isn't any better?
No, it's worse.
'Cause
And
I
in
didn't
fact,
look at
because
the tiered
tier
thing,
2
to be
rides-
honest.
Let's talk Figment. I know. I love all of you that love Figment. I've never waited more than 10 minutes for Figment, and I will never wait longer than that. But the line's never that long. You don't need a fast pass for it. You don't need a fast pass for Living with the Land, but that's what you're stuck with Genie Plus, or whatever we're calling this thing now.
Multi-pass.
But you were stuck with that. But you
I'm
were
screenshotting
But
that
you
so
were
much.
stuck with that on FastPass as well.
Right.
Don't you remember back in the day when you would get those options and you'd be like, okay, well, great, now I got
This is what I'm
Figment.
saying, is now they've gone back to the tier system that we all hated.
Did we hate it?
We did, because
Did we?
with Magic Kingdom, you're getting no tiers.
Did we?
Everything is all the same level,
Because we lived with that for years.
but we hated it.
Did we?
I want to go. While you two keep bickering, I want to go. I want to go to some of the comments here that we have, because I think the big takeaway that a lot of people are comparing, and what makes the new system difficult and doesn't solve any problems, is what you said earlier, Jeff, which is the fact that you cannot align your dining reservation timeframes with what is happening with the new individual lightning lanes. So you could make all of these dining reservations 60 days out, and then you get 7 days out and you figure out what's available and you make these plans and they don't align, and then your whole dining reservation plan goes to crap. And ultimately you see so many people coming here. Dining sells. Like, so many people come here for the food. Like, that is a big part of people's trip. You're still on camera. You can talk anytime you want.
But how is that different from today? Because I could book, with what we have today, is I could book my dining 60 days out, but I can't book my lightning lanes until
day
today.
of. Yeah.
So how is that going to mess my plans up with this
Because
new
this
format?
isn't made for you. This isn't made for locals. We're talking about people that are coming here from far, far away, that have their spreadsheets, that have their whole thing mapped out,
They have one chance.
that they've got one shot
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
This isn't for us.
Yeah.
Locals get screwed with this system any way you look at it. They really
Yeah.
do. Like, there's nothing that is good for us about this new system, because we don't even get it until, 3 days before?
Yeah,
We don't stay on
we don't get the
property,
book in advance if we don't have a stay.
Yeah.
Someone asked, after you use your first tier 1, can't you book from either tier? Which I think that's true.
It is true if there's any left.
Okay, so the Epcot tier 1 is actually Frozen, Ratatouille, and Soarin', and it doesn't mention anything else. But Test Track is not mentioned at all, probably because it's closed.
Probably.
I imagine once it opens up, it's either going to end up in one or even
Pay to
ride or boarding group, depending on how popular the
You think they'll turn that back to a pay to ride?
If it's going to be brand new and popular, right? They're overhauling it.
No, it's still going to be the same ride.
Derek, I'm going to tag you out for a second. I want to bring Corey back because Corey is kind of our resident, out-of-towner of the people that are here today. And he was recently here on a vacation with his family. And, I kind of want to get the perspective a little bit of an out-of-towner. Like, did you like Genie Plus? Did you hate Genie? Have you used Genie Plus?
I've used it probably 10 or 12 times.
Okay.
So you have to purchase it at midnight to ensure that you get it, right? Because it could very well sell out. So that's problem one there. And then you've got to get up at 6:55 and start refreshing your phone just to make sure you're able to.
6:58 if you're Amy.
6:58. Yeah.
6:45.
2 minutes, all you need.
And then you get to book the ride of your choice or whatever, and then you have to wait like 2 hours. Is it 2 hours?
2 hours.
It's 2 hours.
Before you can book the next one.
2 hours after park open for the first one, which is really like 4 hours for Animal Kingdom.
Right.
But for some reason, I remember when they made a change to it to where you could like change your time, right? You could like modify your time. They did that maybe a year or so ago. But before that, you could book your next ride once you've scanned your Magic Band in. So like your first ride, you scan your Magic Band, you can go book your next one. I don't think you can do that with this new update. As of last week, we couldn't. So I feel like we didn't really get to ride a whole lot. But the wait times have been crazy low this summer. So
they have been. It's been very, very, it's been very, very slow here, especially this past week. Except last night was crazy at Disney Springs. But, unfortunately, on the whole topic of all of this, I go back to our first or second trip to Disneyland, and you'll probably know what I'm going to say, which is that to be able to do any of this, you have to understand technology, you have to know how to use your smartphone, and you are going to be dialed into this thing for most of your trip down here.
And there were people, do you remember?
This is exactly what I was going to say.
At the parade.
We sat down on the curb. We were waiting for one of the parades at Disneyland. And so this was Max Pass. And granted, we're fairly decent with technology.
And we rode everything.
We rode everything. We loved it. We loved that the system worked for us out in Disneyland the way it was intended to work. But there was a family sitting next to us. They were a little bit older in age, not as tech savvy or something like that. They had bought Max Pass, as it was called at that time, at Disneyland. It was 2 or 3 in the afternoon. They had not done anything. They didn't know how to use it. They didn't know what to do with it.
They were asking us, how have you written all that stuff?
And it's just...
We only got to ride one thing.
It's very difficult to see those people getting left behind. And I know that there are some travel agencies and travel agents out there that will book these things for you. I know that, in every park, Disney has their Disney Experience cast member team that are in the park to do this. But you have to imagine that there is a significant group of travelers that you're leaving behind because of having to...
Well, if the technology stayed pretty close to being the same, obviously you're going to make updates, you're going to make improvements, but it completely changes. The roles keep changing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would say we're fairly knowledgeable in the Disney space, in the park space, and we can't figure out half the time if we need a park pass to get into it.
I never know
these days.
Don't even start on park pass.
We just make them.
We legit went up to a park entrance one time, and the person looked at us and said, "You need a park pass," and I said, "It's a Wednesday after 2 or whatever it was," and they were like, "I don't know. The thing says you need a park pass." So they made us stand off to the side, make a park pass. Which why doesn't the device immediately say, "Oh, we have availability, just come on in"? But no, they made us stand off to the side, make one. I then look at them, I'm like, "Good, okay, we can go." Okay, great, thank you. But it's some of the rules just they're just very crazy.
And you have to make sure all of us do not have Amy with us, so we don't have that giant power brick. So
or 2.
We have an older phone. It's not gonna last all day. That's frustrating. Sometimes I don't want to be on my phone all day. Well, I want to enjoy the park, but then like you said, you have to be dialed in to what is happening and what what is available, what is my next ride, what am I doing?
Yeah. Are you going to be present for your vacation, or are you going to be present in the device?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit what my article is going to touch on is, spoiler alert.
2026, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be out.
Look forward to that.
Spoiler alert, Disney's is the worst. Based on my personal experience about the amount we spent, how long we waited in line for each of the rides versus the posted wait time.
Yeah.
Disney was hands down the worst investment, even though it was the cheapest.
This is going to be a well-researched article. I'm very excited for it.
You can show up to Universal with no planning, and their front of the line pass might cost you $250 during spring break, but you still get to do the vacation that you want, right? There's no, you have to be in between this hour, and you have to book your alarm to set the next one so you can be back at the tower. You show up in the morning, you buy the thing, you go all day long. It's unlimited. There's no times. You show up. It's every ride but Hagrid's, and you just show up and you ride the ride. We saved 11 and a half hours of waiting in line, spending $200.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's a whole nother day in the park.
Yep.
I think this new update, you're going to get less for more. Like you're going to have to pay more money. You're not going to get as many.
And you have to plan every facet. And I know that there's people out there that love that, but for most people that are trying to enjoy a vacation, I don't want to get up at 7 a.m. Yeah. I might want to sleep in.
That's the thing I hate the most. I don't like having to get up for a boarding group or, you know what I mean, early.
Instead of just being able to say, you know what?
Yeah. But I get it. I understand. And I want to hold, I want to hold my judgment until we try it and we experience it. And I understand that. I just have one question, because with all the changes, why is Muppets still have a fast pass? Why is that still an option? Who uses it?
Why is Muppets? That a hater? I would probably get hate for this. Why is Muppets still a thing, and why did they not? Why did they not turn Rock and Roller Coaster into a Muppets coaster when they took it down for 6 months?
Opening a can of worms, Paul, for this guy.
I don't think it needs to go. I just think it doesn't need a fast pass. It's one of the options.
Neither does Figment.
If you've scanned in for a fast pass with the Muppets, you are walking right alongside the people coming into the, just on the other side. Whoop.
How many people have got in line for Muppets, got into the room, and weren't able to go into the actual theater?
Never seen that.
So what is the I agree with you. What is the fast pass
and even
for?
if you want a front
because
row
it's
seat,
you're feeling that you're getting your value for that fast pass.
There you go.
Yep. You're getting it.
If Genie Plus or whatever they're calling this thing, if it wasn't even a thing, you would get to ride everything.
Yep.
Like I was in Magic Kingdom this morning. Granted, the crowds are lower, but I was there for 3.5 hours and I rode like 6 rides.
Yeah.
And the lightning lanes, like I was noticing, nobody was going to the lightning lanes, so the rides were just turning over the regular.
Well, and if you want to go really down into the weeds, there's a great video that somebody put up. I can't even remember who it was that talks about that. That actually the lightning lane and the front of the line access actually slows down the experience for everybody.
Yeah.
I like the good old days when we came back from COVID, before they brought Fast Pass back, where it was just like normal again, and you could just go and ride the ride and you didn't have to show up.
So everybody collectively, let's just not purchase.
It's never gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So before we end this individual lightning lane discussion, I want Panda to come back, because if anything changes with Disney, the news calls Panda. So Panda has some has some strong thoughts on this. And while we do that little switcheroo, I'll leave you with a Saratoga. Back with Derek's trivia questions of the day. Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa was the blank Disney Vacation Club resort to be built on Walt Disney World property. What number was it in the list and order of Disney Vacation Club resorts?
I want to see if anybody in the comments knows.
We'll give a pause.
Delay.
We're on a little delay, so we'll give a pause to kind of let people think about it. But I will go to this side of the table. Jeff and Dan, give us your thoughts.
So, what number did it become a resort? Is that the question?
Yeah. So there are now 17 Disney Vacation Club
So what number of
properties.
vacations?
So I'm gonna say 3.
And they are frozen. So that is wonderful. It was perfect.
He said 3?
Yeah.
Number 3. I'm gonna say it's the 3rd.
The 3rd.
Was it built as a college of Disney knowledge first?
Oh, that was another question, but yeah, we.
So I'm going to say 7.
Okay, we
I
got
was gonna say like the 11th.
11th. We got 11. What was yours?
Okay.
3.
I said 3.
Jeff, have you said anything yet? No, Jeff's still thinking.
Starting to get
I'm gonna
guesses.
go. I'm gonna go with 5.
5.
Alright.
It has to be
And
low.
Comments are all over the place, and I will I'll kind of feature the winning comment here, which was Jocelyn said 7, and Panda wins as well.
Wow.
I believe.
I think it was built earlier though as the College of Disney Knowledge.
Yeah, Disney Institute.
Yeah.
And
Institute,
then it
right,
became
yeah.
Resort. So you're probably
It
Yeah.
was. So, based off of the notes here that the lovely Derek gave me, the 7th opening property on May 17th, 2004.
You really don't read it as well as Derek does.
I do not.
Was
I don't have
were
the
the-
same voice.
I have a question though.
Yes.
Was it everything? Like, was it tree houses included too?
The tree
was
house-
it,
So that's a
were-
great question.
were-
was it? Were they all? Well, the tree houses were already here, but when they put it under that DVC umbrella,
they came later. Because
they
and
did?
that's why they're not refurbished with the rest of DVC.
Derek, do we know when they came later?
Like 5 years, wasn't it? It was around 5 years.
I want to say like 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Derek, did they sit empty or what? What were their
They
purposes?
sat empty.
For several years.
Oh, Derek
Oh,
said
wow,
they
they
sat
sat
empty,
empty. Okay,
for okay.
Because you could take the boat down and you would look at them and be like, from like Dixie Landings or Port Orleans, and then you'd be like, what? Ooh.
He said you could take the boat down and you could see empty shells.
Yeah, they probably can't. Thank you. For,
So, Panda, we got you back because we did want you to chime in on the Genie Plus and individual
I had
lightning
a
lane
bad
debate.
experience last week.
can I? You have a
What?
fuzz. Let me
Get
your
my fuzz.
I got
Okay.
it. Okay.
You had a
sorry.
bad experience last week.
Yeah, we wanted to go on Ratatouille, and we thought, okay, let's buy Genie Plus and we'll do it. We bought Genie Plus and Ratatouille was already gone. And I thought, wow, I just wasted $26 a person for no reason.
Did you buy it early enough or when?
It
Like
was
what?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay.
And I wish I could have, if they would have told me Ratatouille's gone, I would have been happy. But I didn't know that you could
Interesting.
I didn't even know it could go completely at 1 o'clock. I just felt like it'll be, at some point. No, I would have waited until 9 to ride. No, so I thought that's bad. So I'm kind of happy that from now you'll at least be able to know ahead of time
Before you purchase.
before you purchase.
Oh,
Yeah.
so with the new, you'll know if something's gone.
Yeah, and so that actually happened to us once too. And it was the same thing. It was Ratatouille. It was actually first thing in the morning. And there was some glitchy thing. I was trying to get it for my mom. It was the one time we used it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to get it, and there was a good time. And I went to click, and it had issues, and they wouldn't let me. And then the next time it was available was 7 p.m. And then I tried to get that, and then it was gone. And then I was like, this was the only ride my mom wanted to ride. And I didn't get
That's
it
it.
because the app
hate
was
that,
being messed up. So I went to guest services, and I said, look, and I had screenshots. I took screenshots and I was like, I had it, and it wouldn't let me finish and grab it. And this is the only ride she wants.
Did
And
they help you?
they gave me a pass for it.
Wow. Okay, that's not
So,
usual.
Yeah.
Anymore.
So it ended up being
I
working
don't
out.
know.
But I bet they were tired of people going to guest services
Yeah.
and complaining over that. So now you know what you're buying before you pay for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that
I
is
think
a
if you
plus.
go to guest services and you're honest and,
Yeah.
you have a real issue and it's not just you were late to the
Yeah.
game.
Correct.
But I
you-
bet it's all day, every day. Don't you think that
Oh, I
gets
do.
It
tiring?
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah, we had a really good guest experience. Same
Mhm.
kind of situation where
Yeah.
we were given something that we didn't get. So it was really good. You weren't there, but yeah.
So ultimately, Panda, fan of the changes? Not a fan?
I think for people traveling, it's mostly positive. If you can plan ahead like that. I like to be spontaneous, so I don't think I will use it. But I think if you're into that planning stuff, yeah, it's better than it was, I think.
Yeah, I think specifically if you are coming here, once a year, once every 2 years for your Disney vacation, that it makes sense, and it's going to at least give you the ability to plan and hopefully do the things that you want to do, or rearrange your vacation in a way. But again, it all falls into that. Is this available or is that not available, or do I need to redo the days of what day I'm doing what park? And if that changes, then so do all of your dining reservations. So I would say
That's the problem, is making plans, then changing something
I would say on the dining topic, though, the dining system has been a lot better since they recently made some changes. There were a lot of sort of bots and scrapers that were pulling reservations, holding reservations, doing that kind of stuff. And the new changes have definitely kind of opened up a lot of more last minute availability. Like we've been surprised.
Are you thinking like the 2 hour?
Yep.
You referring to like the 2 hour before?
The 2 hour window, just a lot of the updates that they did basically restricted a lot of sites that were scraping or trying to do dining pulling and things like that. And so those are now blocked. So less reservations are being taken off the board. And so that, in addition to the 2 hour window in which you can now cancel up to 2 hours before. And so there is a lot more like last minute flexibility, I feel like.
Yeah, you can find a lot more.
Yeah, you can be.
I mean, we've seen recently, just looking for fun. It's like, oh, there's a space 220.
Yeah.
Which you never saw before. Or even Hoop-de-Doo.
100%.
You can find a Hoop-de-Doo
It's all the time.
all the time.
Yeah, I saw it last night open.
I think it's that 2 hour window that you can grab something now and get something that you wanted.
That was one of the best changes ever.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, Hoop-de-Doo, by the way. If you have not done Hoop-de-Doo, you've got to do it. You're doing it tomorrow night.
Tomorrow?
I've been there a few times. I like
It is amazing. It's celebrating its 50th anniversary. Crazy. It is the longest running dinner show in America.
They have some really cute 50th anniversary merchandise in the store right there.
I don't know where the ornament went that I bought.
I put it in our Christmas box.
Oh, thank God. Okay,
If
great.
they could get that, I saw that they had the cast come back. Do a night with them.
Yeah.
Hey Disney, do a night with them. Like, would that not be fun?
That would be amazing.
That would be
Yeah.
cool just to see.
All
Is
of the people.
is the show the same? Is
Yeah.
it not? What did they do? What did they do differently? What did it change?
So-
How fun was it?
A hilarious story about that is that when we bought our home down here in Florida, we actually went through our walkthrough with the construction manager, and we're talking. He's like, "Oh, what do you guys do?" And we're like, "Oh, we're kind of Disney adjacent in what we do." And he's like, "Oh, I worked for Disney. I was actually in Hoop-de-Doo." And we're like, "What? You're doing construction now, but you were in Hoop-de-Doo?" And like it turns out,
our
like,
house construction manager
like
he was the guy in the yellow shirt at Hoop-de-Doo.
yeah,
And he was also Gaston.
he was Gaston. Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
which yeah.
Y'all went to breakfast.
We're friends with
I saw
Gaston.
The video, I went to breakfast, and it was in the Hoop-de-Doo area, right?
Yeah, so we recently got to do actually for the grand opening of the cabins, they did a special breakfast for anyone staying at Fort Wilderness, and also it looks like they invited anyone at Wilderness Lodge for the second day that the cabins were open.
That was the Hoop-de-Doo cast, like
There were two of
Yeah.
them, yes.
Okay.
6 Bits, what's his full name? 6 Bits? Slocum was walking around talking, and I can't remember her name, but the one that has the pigtails, and her and 6 Bits always go back and forth. We vlogged it, so it's our day 2 vlog, and they came over and talked to us for a little while.
so that's
So,
not that's not like an ongoing thing.
No,
That's
it was just for
Man, that'd be so
to
cool.
celebrate the opening of the
Yeah.
cabin.
Special
It was so
special
cool.
grand
It was
opening.
really cool.
We were
of
gonna
the
go at
cabins.
Christmas time. But
Yeah, they usually do a special. They decorate Pioneer Hall at Christmas, and they do like some special holiday songs and stuff.
that's
It's
Two
really
or
cool.
3, right? That
Yeah.
They, like, sprinkle in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last year, I wonder if they'll do it again. They
Hope
did a DVC special DVC Hoop-de-Doo, and they gave the coolest ornament, that DVC ornament that we got. That was so nice. But yeah, and that was a little special. They did some little extra special things with that too.
Yep.
And we vlogged that one too. So if you want to see it, check it out. It's on DVC Fan.
Yes, we did.
And Mary went with us.
Mary did go
Liddick.
with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's gonna be
Jeff
fun.
and Amy
Yep.
and Tatum. Huh? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Good time. So we'll pivot into kind of our last topic of today, which is this amazing place that we are staying in tonight. And Amy and I actually stayed here last night as well, but it is our first experience in a Saratoga Treehouse Villa. And coming up soon on the DVC Fan YouTube channel, Amy does a full tour showing you through everything
yeah,
here.
I missed one closet.
One closet we noticed after
We
the
didn't
fact.
see it
yeah.
because it's behind,
behind
the
the
bathroom
door.
door in the main bedroom.
We strive for perfection, but we miss.
I know, we were bummed out about it.
We
but it
miss
was-
the mark
it was too
sometimes,
late.
but What would? Well,
I want to talk to these two first.
Yeah, and then we'll bring some others in.
Panda stayed in the treehouse before, and then is this your first time in one?
I've ever seen.
Yeah, I want to talk to them, and then I want to bring Jeff and Amy over, who's staying, and then I want to bring Derek back.
Give us your first impressions. What do you think of the treehouse?
So I really like to camp. Like we love going like into the mountains and camping in a cabin, and that's kind of the vibe here. I don't feel like
it feels a lot like Fort Wilderness.
Yeah. So, but I mean, they're scheduled to be refurbed, and I don't feel like they need to. I mean, I love.
Still look good.
Yeah, I mean, everything still looks like it's in really good shape, but no. And you said it was like a little over 1,000 square feet. They feel way bigger than that. So great value for a family, 3 bedrooms, But yeah, I would love to stay here. I would love it.
Yep.
Does anybody remember Monsanto House of the Future on a book?
Yes. Yep.
That feels like this.
It is.
octagonal
Yeah.
thing. Okay. So my big thing is bugs. I thought that the treehouse was going to be buggy. I thought I was going to walk in, stuff like
We're just going to be
day.
swatting at
Yeah, I
things.
thought it was going to be a spider or something. No, they're very clean inside.
This isn't tough to be a bug.
This is okay. Bugs are bad, but this is perfect. It's
not
creepy.
Sentient and organic. That's what I know. But I like it, and I think it's a very different Disney experience. You feel like you're out of the Disney bubble, but you're not. You're in the wilderness and you're high up, and you've got this staircase and this octagonal room, but it's really nice. I like it a lot.
And I asked Amy on the way over here. There is a pool.
There
it's
is.
dedicated just.
It's dedicated just for this area. It is extremely small. So Jeff, Dan, and I actually went over there for a little bit. No one was there. I think there were two other people there. Yeah. So pool and hot tub, very quiet. It is a very hot day, so I would assume that more people would have been in it, but it was.
Is it surrounded by trees? Like everything feels like it is?
Yep, but then some palm trees too.
Oh.
A nice hot tub.
Okay.
Bathrooms. Vending machine, water fountain, 4 foot deep, I think.
Nice.
They had that super nice. Like I feel like we just recently had our pool redone, so I would feel like it was redone within like a year or two.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
I kind of judged it first walking up. I didn't. It's not what I expected. It was a smaller pool compared to most other pools we've been in on property here. Once we got in and walked around, it was fantastic. We were there for about an hour. It was really good. And we hopped between the hot tub and the pool, and it was awesome.
Panda, Corey, we'll let you guys swap out for some of the other peanut gallery off to the side and get their thoughts on the. I keep wanting to call it a cabin, but it's a tree house.
Yep. It is a tree house.
While they kind of do their swapperooski, how was your first night here? Did you sleep good?
Great. Yeah. So quiet, and there's just, I know that these are they're not the luxury, accommodations that you get in a Grand Villa or, in all those hotel rooms. But you have to realize 51 points for tonight. 51 points. And by comparison, so this has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It has a full kitchen. It has a living room area. It has plenty of closet space and a washer and dryer. And then you have a big deck outside here with table and chairs and a bench. By comparison, the 3-bedroom Grand Villa at Saratoga Springs, 98 points tonight. Okay, so that's over a 40-point difference. And then I just wanted to some screenshots.
While you pull up that, I have to go here because there is in chat. There's a Raw de Terry. Derek, did you just email this guy? It says, "Hello, this is Raw. I just got an email response from Derek."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, legit. I love it. He's over here working. He's over here working.
Oh, wait,
hold on. Come back. There, now Derek's.
Hello.
Hey, Rob. How are you, bud?
Derek.
He said, I will tell you.
You can read the response if you want.
Well, I am. Yeah.
Just kidding.
He said he watches the show. He's a big fan of everybody that's on the show. He has some questions about DVC, and I said, it's funny you say that because I'm with all these awesome people at the exact same moment that I'm typing you, and we're going to hopefully touch base and talk tomorrow. So thanks for reaching out.
Yeah. No. Even when he's on the show, he's still working. So.
Okay, and for those of you doing the pool.
You said it right the first time, I think.
That is, is the cabin at Copper Creek better? Is the bungalow better? I will say, those are a little more elevated. But tonight, again, 51 points tonight. The 2-bedroom Copper Creek cabin tonight is 121 points.
Nope, that's a no for
And
me.
the 2-bedroom Polynesian bungalow tonight is 157 points. Over 100 points a night more.
Dan, the Copper Creek
than
contract
this.
you're looking to buy is like 500
Right?
points.
That is insane.
Right.
What's it out? Yeah, 500.
Yeah, 500
right.
points.
But I love not sharing walls
Yes.
with other guests. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, Amy, give us your thoughts. I know you've not stayed here tonight yet, but you've stayed here
Well, we
before.
stay here.
We stayed here a week with our grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And to talk a little bit about like what Amy said is it is so quiet, and it's just, you don't feel like you're at Disney or in like this Disney bubble. You just kind of feel like you're on vacation, and the windows in here are floor to ceiling, like so much natural light, so much just, it's beautiful, it's quiet, you don't hear your neighbors, you're not in a hotel. I feel like it's a little easier to stay here if you have your own car, because you can park right out front, but you feel like you're just in your own little space. And there's plenty of room to stay with your family or your extended family. Like, we stayed here with our grandkids for a week, and it's a walk to Disney Springs. We loved it. We actually really loved it. And it doesn't bother me that it hasn't been refurbed yet, because I actually like it just the way it is.
Yeah, it's kind of, I would say it's probably the most unique place you can
Yeah.
stay at Walt Disney World.
Mhm.
It's not attached to any hotels. It's not attached. Yeah, the bungalows and cabins are cool, and I've stayed in the cabins, and they are beautiful. But for the points, I'm never staying there unless it's somebody else's
Yeah.
money, because this is so much simpler to do. And we had a really good time here, and we've got some friends coming into town that I've been going back and forth about bringing them here rather than where we're staying. So I don't know.
And you
we're
don't
a fan.
have to have a car to stay here. I only mentioned that because you can park right in front of your treehouse. There is a bus that does kind of the treehouse loop that's like 15 or 20 minutes, I think, is how often it runs. And it takes you over to the main resort, and then you take that bus to wherever else you want to go.
Quite a journey.
But it does take a little bit longer, so you have to plan a little bit of extra time in your morning if you're trying to get a bunch of people out the door. But there are parking spaces out there if you just have a car and then just drive where you want.
Speaking of bunk beds, these two get to explore the bunk bed situation tonight a little bit. So what do you think of your room? What do you think of the cabins? It's Treehouse. I keep calling it cabin.
It's a treehouse.
So yeah, there's two things I want to say, and then we can talk about the bunk beds. The trees in Florida always amaze me, because you think Florida, all you're going to see is palm trees, but the greenery. We came from Michigan. I'm Canadian, so we have lots of green trees in these areas. And we come to Florida, and it's just shocking the amount of different types of like northern trees that we see here.
It feels like a northern Michigan deer camp. Like I'm back to senior year. We're partying tonight after prom. Like, this is it. Like,
I didn't set up for that.
We're at deer camp. This is it. I don't feel like I'm at Disney. I love it. I think it's great. The layout's great. I do have some negatives. Amy and I already talked about this.
Yeah.
I do feel like so I'm going to go against you. I feel like you need a car. You're going to need a car.
You
But
don't have to have it.
You don't have to have it.
It is nice.
You don't have to have it, but I feel like you need it. Also,
I'm sorry. This camera freezes once in a while.
And it was like, Jeff
the
was
best
like,
thing.
was I giving her like really mean eyes?
I was like,
Was
it was
that-
right when you went at
As-
her.
You're definitely mean about getting
as Dan would say, my Mr. Potato had angry eyes.
Yeah, you're back on it.
So, yeah, I mean, I want to stay here, and those who know me, they know that, like, deep down inside right now, I'm like, why are we on this podcast? Why are we not in a park, Paul? Why did we not get virtual queue for Tron at 1? Why are we not doing this? But here, I don't feel like I would want to come here and I would want to relax.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a park.
Yeah.
Because again, as Amy mentioned, there is the bus loop, but I feel like you would be on the loop for a while. Like, you're far, and you mentioned you guys ran this morning. You were half mile from quick service.
Yeah, about a half mile from the quick service restaurant. So, that It obviously depending on your mobility, depending on a lot of factors. For us, it's not a big issue. We were able to walk there. If you have to wait for a water taxi or you have to wait for a bus, it's going to be a little bit longer of a trek to get over there. You brought up earlier, if you buy the park refillable mugs, that's the only place.
I have nowhere to fill it right now.
Yeah, I don't know of any filling spots.
There was nothing
And
at the pool.
I have to
Nothing
get
at the pool.
I have to get at least 6 to make up for it. So.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of mobility issues, the tree houses, and I know you, Amy, mentioned there are some that are like
The one right
The
next
one
door,
right next to us has a ramp that goes
it has
up.
a ramp, but otherwise, if you have a mobility issue and you want to stay at the tree houses, you might not be able to
A
stay
lot
here
of
if they're
steps.
already booked out. Like,
Yeah.
because you can't get up here unless you can climb stairs. Otherwise,
Someone
And
brought a
that's-
wagon, and we had to carry a wagon up the stairs. Well, I say we. By we, I mean Paul and Jeff had to carry it up. I just stood there and
He's
for moral
complaining about it,
support.
but he's happy when he found what was in the wagon. So we'll just leave it at that.
And I'll
I'm
admit,
just stating a fact.
I never realized, this is going to sound silly, I never realized is that the tree houses were so elevated. I just thought they were, Disney cabins within the trees. That's kind of, I was putting the tours together. Then I get here and like right now we're looking out, you kind of feel like you're in trees and we're looking down on the cars and down on all the people walking. So you have
Eye
kind of a
level with
unique
the trees.
view,
Yeah.
not just seeing trees, but you feel like you're actually in a tree house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good job on the name,
Yeah.
Disney.
And if you want to know what's underneath, some of us may or may not have gotten to see what was underneath here. That's where all the HVAC and the water heater and all the extra towels and everything they're underneath.
We've become super nerds to just like how things function.
Inner
And so
workings.
like it is something that is to be considered both here. Amy and I had questions about it when we were at the cabins at Fort Wilderness, is like, how does mousekeeping, where do they keep their stuff and everything? So it's very unique here. So we actually called earlier and asked for some more towels and stuff, and they came to the door, and I think there was one other thing we wanted. And so Jeff actually went downstairs with them and held and actually held the door for them. So there's a door underneath your treehouse, and that door is where they keep, the extra linens and all of that kind of stuff.
And
I
the
assume
toiletries and the
Blankets.
coffee.
they replenish that as needed,
Which makes it easier for them. They can like come and
Yeah,
replenish.
and I'm sure that there's
someone
maybe
stocks that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a separate team that like comes and stocks that. But again, this is like our DVC nerdism. But I think you guys hit on the biggest negative for me is just the transportation aspect, which I think just explaining how we did it today is that. Amy actually drove over to the Congress Park area and picked people up and brought them over to this area because there is no connecting car path from the tree houses and the main Saratoga area.
Yeah.
The only connecting paths are walking paths or golf cart paths, and you cannot rent a golf cart here. So that is not an option.
Yeah, those are just for golfers.
Just golfers would be able to rent golf carts. And so, in our situation, we wanted to have more people over so that we could film and do this live stream with you all. And so we legit just had to time it so that, we went over, picked them up, brought them over to the treehouse area, because the treehouse area is also a non-manned gate. So it is just a digital gate in which you can tap your Magic Band or your room key. There is a call button there, so I assume you could call the main entrance if you had issues.
Yeah.
But just it is you got to tap in here, so it's a little bit more difficult.
Something else I just want to talk about the whole transportation thing. It is a drawback. So something to consider, especially if you have your little children, you're pushing a stroller. If you are not taking a car, if you're walking to the bus stop, there is a dedicated water taxi area for the tree houses.
Yep.
But if you are walking any distance, so this morning I said to Paul, we went for a 4-mile run, and I said, we are not going to turn our headphones on and start running until we are out of the treehouse area. And that's because it's unlike Fort Wilderness, which we just stayed at, that has all these paths and sidewalks, walking and biking paths. There's no walking path or bicycle path or even sidewalks in this treehouse area. So you have to walk on the road. So that is something to keep in mind. And yesterday when we were walking back to our treehouse, there are buses coming down this road. It's not all the time, but there are buses, there are cars, obviously, and there's 2 lanes. We're moving into the lane that the bus doesn't come down, and we moved all the way over to the opposite lane. The bus came within 1 foot of us.
Yeah.
Don't you think it was very close?
It was very close.
It was right in the line, and I was like, "Oh goodness gracious! I'm glad we weren't."
Nothing against the bus driver. There's just not enough room.
There's just not enough room. He didn't hit us. I'm sure he saw us. I'm sure he was paying attention.
You have to be aware of your.
But you have to be aware of your surroundings because you have to walk on the road for a little bit while you're in the treehouse area. And if you have children, strollers, and things like that, that's just something to consider. But with that said, super amazing value on the points.
Yeah.
Sleeps 9. Just beautiful. The beams and the high ceilings and just it's so pretty.
The biggest thing is I agree with why so many people have been hating on Fort Wilderness is because they took kind of the rustic element out of those cabins and they replaced them with more of the glamping style, more modern cabins. I still think we absolutely love the new Fort Wilderness cabins, and I don't want that to negate what I'm saying, but like the rustic vibe here,
it's still rustic.
It needs to stay. Like it needs to stay with the refurbishment of these rooms because it's just so unique, and I don't think there's anything else on property that rivals kind of the feel that this gives you.
Yeah, if you are missing the rustic of the old cabins, come and stay here.
Yes.
That's what I would say. Now, asterisk, this is getting refurbished next year. So we don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to change them. But we're hoping, obviously, the big windows should stay. And they're, like Amy said, floor to ceiling, beautiful. It's like you're in the trees.
Wood trim.
The wood trim,
Yeah.
Hopefully it stays. Hopefully, the ceiling beams stay. Obviously, I don't think they're going to change, the big tall ceilings and stuff like that. They're not going to change the structure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jeff has his hand up because we're in middle school.
I know. I have another question for Amy because Amy knows that her and I have talked in length about this, and my one beef with Saratoga, and is the preferred room. And when we booked a preferred room once for Moonlight, we were over in that. What is
Were
that?
you in Congress Park or the Springs?
Is that
Congress Park?
Congress Park is near Disney Springs.
Whatever. What's right by quick service?
That's the Springs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there, and you're preferred, yet you're the last bus pickup. So
Yeah.
you guys have stayed here. So if we walk over and get on a bus right now, are we just going to the main area, or are we getting on a bus that goes to a park?
No.
No.
There's a bus loop that goes here
Right there.
Yeah.
that drops
Takes
you off
you
at
there.
Congress Park.
Yeah.
And then you get on the bus.
At Congress Park or at the main building?
No, I think it's at Congress Park.
It drops you off at Congress Park?
Pretty sure.
I thought it took you over to the main Saratoga.
I don't remember.
carriage house?
I remember
Yeah.
going. We got on the bus and then it went. Coming back, we had to go through all 3 Saratoga buses
Okay.
and then get off here. So
If you
coming
know,
back took
if you know
forever.
the answer to that,
Because my thought is, so since I'm here, like, are you on this loop and then you're going over to the next area?
Yeah.
And then, so do I have to plan for a 40-minute
you do have
possible
Yeah.
bus
Yes.
Yes.
situation by going from here to the main,
You
the
could be
main
waiting.
to wherever?
You could be waiting here for probably 15-20 minutes for a bus, and then going over to the main Saratoga bus area and waiting
wait.
there also for a.
Yeah, and I can't remember
Okay,
the order, but I do remember
okay.
it's going was faster than coming back because it's still the same bus loop. So
Yeah.
it's the last drop off on the regular Saratoga bus.
So if
loop.
you have a car, it's definitely preferred. If
We
you're
did it
gonna drive
the
a
Yeah,
car,
yeah.
We did it the first day, and then I had a Turo delivered the next day.
So that tells you
Okay.
And then
something.
you got on the wrong.
Then it was the
and then
wrong
you got
Turo.
in the wrong Turo, but that's a different.
Story for a different day.
Of course you
That's
did.
a conversation.
Okay.
Some people are asking about the capacity and where all what the beds are. So I just wanted to overview that real quick. There is 1 queen bed in the main bedroom. There are 2 bedrooms over here that are side by side. On the other side, there's one that has a queen bed in it and one that has bunk beds, so 2 twin bunk beds. And then the other 9 people are designed to sleep in the living room. There is a pull-out queen size sleeper sofa, and then next to that is a pull-out single twin sleeper chair. So that is the arrangements. Then a dining room table, another extra chair, some stools at the kitchen counter. That's the basic gist.
Yep.
And there will be a full tour up on DVC Fan.
Full tour up soon on DVC Fan.
Missing a closet though, right?
Missing one
Minus
closet.
one closet behind
in the main bedroom.
The main bedroom behind the bathroom door.
Behind the
You would
bathroom
not
door.
know it's there if the bathroom door is wide open.
There's another closet.
And if your husband doesn't close the door when he goes to the bathroom,
Did you mention-
definitely won't find it.
Did you mention the only 2 bathrooms instead of 3?
Only 2 bathrooms.
Only 2 bathrooms instead of 3. That is worth noting. So it's not like a grand villa in that sense, but you do get 3 bedrooms, you do get a full kitchen, you do get a washer and dryer. You just don't have that extra bathroom, and you're paying a lot less for your
And you don't have any neighbors.
points. And you don't have neighbors, yeah. You're sharing a wall.
And a lot of people might not know this either, but not to the extent that the campsites and the cabins do, but people do decorate these at Christmas.
They do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They do
go out,
lights
they
down
do-
the stairs. and-
Wow.
I did see a plug out there.
It was
There's a
Christmas.
plug
Wow.
right next to the table.
I feel like we did come here at Christmas, and when we were driving around, they had decorated their patios out there, their decks out there with all kinds of Christmas lights, and it was really cute.
Well, I feel like our discussion could go on for hours and hours, and I wish I didn't have to say this, but we have a DVC Fan SummerFest meetup to get to pretty soon, and so I'm going to ask everyone else to come huddle around the other chairs.
Well, you haven't asked Amy
and
about
come-
the most important Disney news that's come in her world in the last 6 months. The Country Bear Jamboree reopens on Wednesday.
Oh, yes, it's coming.
Hey, by the way, Amy, that Amy, not the same Amy.
It's her favorite thing in the
It
whole
is
wide
my-
world.
I know it is.
She's our very own
I don't
Trixie.
understand. I mean, okay, so it goes back to my childhood. It's like the one thing I remember about Disney and my dad singing "Blood on the Saddle." But it was something that we just did every single time we came, and we didn't come very often. But that was one thing that we always went to, and so I don't know. When they said they were changing it, I was really, really sad, and I had a really hard time with it. I'm still having a hard time with it.
We didn't ask Derek. We're missed out on Derek thought on the treehouse. I did want to get that really quick.
All right.
Derek's
Just 'cause
first
he
time in
didn't-
here, too.
Yeah,
This
is his
this
first
blew
time
my
in
mind.
Treehouse.
Derek, give us your 30-second treehouse review.
Yeah, it literally was my first time here. So I've never been in one. I've literally been selling them for 15 years, but I've never actually stepped foot inside of them. I love them. I think they're fantastic. I love how they look. They look fresh. They look clean. They're so unique and different. Like I said, the only issue I think I would have with it is if I was coming to go to parks and stuff, that I think the transportation stuff might kind of get a little old after a while. But I've already texted my wife since I've been here saying we need to come here just to come here.
Yeah.
Like not to go anywhere else. Maybe just hang out here, go to the pool, but just experience a place like this. So
So would
I
you use
love
your points here?
no.
Derek doesn't use his points anywhere.
Also, it's such an easy walk to Disney Springs. Like if you just
Yeah.
wanted to hang out at the resort,
Right.
do some swimming, walk to
Yeah.
Disney Springs,
You-
have dinner,
You
go,
are right.
shopping.
You can walk to Disney
It
Springs.
is so great.
Yeah, so don't be fooled. You do not have to go clear to Congress Park to walk to Disney Springs. You can walk, what is it? You go out and you go the other way, which takes you to
It's
Cirque du
basically
Soleil,
that you walk to the surface parking lot if you're
Yeah.
familiar with the area. So you'll walk to that area and you can actually go in by
Yeah, and that's a lot closer
the-
of a
the
walk.
Cirque
Hey,
building.
so Panda and I were just talking. Do they still have the boat that goes from here?
They do.
Okay.
The problem with the boat right now, though, is
The water level?
No, so it's
back,
open.
it's back, yeah.
Water level does become an issue depending on how much it's raining down here. But because of the drone show, the boat is
closes at
closing
8
at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So the boat ceases operation at 8 o'clock.
Oh,
I also love how you all crowded to this side of the camera and no one else. To Jeff and Amy. So we do have to get going because we do have to get to this meetup, and because of how much the transportation fun is here, we probably
And
need to
herding
leave a
cats.
half hour before we do. But I did want to end on just a quick bright note, which is that a year ago, basically at the time of us recording this, DVC Fan kind of went under a massive change. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know, and I'm not going to go into it any further than that. But also the amazing support of World of DVC for what Amy and I have done over the years. You know, they are really the reason that we are still here. here, and really the reason that we are still here thriving. First and foremost, thank you to my lovely wife for joining me on this journey. I couldn't do it without you. You know, I know I kind of pressured her into this long ago. I kind of got involved, and then I was like, hey, do you want to be on a video? And she's like, no.
And the first video that I was on was terrible, for the record. I want to interrupt though, and I just want to say that a lot of people don't realize, you know, and usually when there's a production like this, there are, you know, there's people who edit, there's people who go and write the content, there's people who produce, and there's people who fix the audio visual. Paul is a one-man band. He gets.
Have you seen that GIF of like the guy that's like pulling all the levers and playing the piano?
He sets up all the equipment. He's producing. He's the one pressing the buttons during the show. He's the one hosting. He does all of our editing at DVC Fan. Not just video editing, but he also edits all the articles, and he writes a majority of them also. And he is always the first one to get them up when news breaks. And I'm like, I'm too busy. I'm writing loads. Leave me alone. And he gets them. So this guy definitely. I don't think we said it enough.
No.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
But also, we've assembled an amazing team of people around us that both love and support us, and love and support everything that we're trying to do for Disney Vacation Club. And that's everyone that is at this table today. That's a part of this amazing show. There are more faces that are not here today that are an amazing part of us. Again, everyone at World of DVC, DVC Resale Market, Rental Store, Monera. There's so many people to thank, and that are
Even
a part.
Jeff, did we mention Jeff?
I don't. Yeah, Jeff moved here. Jeff moved here to be a part of this show.
I don't think that's why you moved. Don't flatter yourself. Don't flatter yourself.
It's a happy coincidence.
Corey flew in for 2 days just to be a part of this show. So.
Corey needs therapy.
But no, I think we've emerged from something that most organizations could crumble through, and I think it's the passion of this community more than anything that really drives us forward. It's all of you that are watching this, that comment, that watch these videos, that engage with us in the community, engage with us on social media and all of those different places. All of you that have joined you are paying money to just listen to our nonsense on Patreon. Like that blows me away. I do the same thing.
And to the Patreon subscribers, I am so sorry. I've tried 5 times to upload a couple of videos for you.
We'll have to try on my phone a little
I'm struggling. Patreon is giving me a really hard time, but I'm going to get those to you.
But yeah, just all of your love and support have gotten this above and beyond where it was before, and above and beyond where any of us really think. I think we think that this could have gone, and because of that, there's a lot of bright future on the horizon for DVC Fan. We are going to be bringing you more content than ever as we embark on this second year together as this big, happy, I want to say dysfunctional family. I don't know what to call us, but
that's a good word.
But we hope that you're not bored of us yet, because we enjoy and love doing what we do, and you guys give us the ability to do this day in and day out. This is not anyone sitting here. This is not our day job. DVC Fan is not our day job. I work for DVC Rental Store. Amy works for Monera. Derek works for. I don't even remember. Resale Market.
It's a trap.
Everyone here is here because they are passionate about what we are doing and what we are creating. And I'm so happy to have all of you here, and thank you so much for being a part of this. So that is going to do it for our DVC Fans SummerFest live stream from Saratoga Springs. We are in the works of talking about doing something in the winter months, probably surrounding the grand opening of the Polynesian Tower. So we'll do some sort of meetup, maybe fireworks on the beach or something, so that we can meet some of you. But we're going to go meet some of you right now. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Please like this video, subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel, follow in the conversation on the DVC Fan Facebook group, dvcfan.com. And if you want to listen to our shenanigans some more, see some more behind the scenes footage over at patreon.com/dvcfan. But we love you all. Thank you. And we will not see you this Monday, because this is going to take place of this Monday, but I guess, as I always say, we will see you next Monday.
Derek, sing the song.
Saratoga Treehouse Villas.
Magic Treehouse Villa.